Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
Would you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a novice and I'm here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I want an education. Although I must say, so far the monastic life's been quite unexpected.
Thanks for helping me out during the ceremony. I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
You don't know Latin, do you? Don't worry. Work in the scriptorium will teach you fast enough. Why exactly are you here? Was it your choice? Or did someone force you to come?
I'm being punished. If it were up to me, I'd still be spending my days in taverns and my nights with whores.
I don't envy you. Unfortunately, you're here for the rest of your life.
Let's go then.
Good. But before we do, here's a letter directly from the prior telling you all your regular duties from tomorrow onwards. Make sure to read it this evening, so you know how things work. Right, we can go now. Follow me closely. I'll explain everything as we go. Remember one word: discipline. It's your job to work and pray. You serve the Lord now, not your own bodily needs. This is the way to the dormitory, where we all sleep. You'll find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me? To appreciate sleep. We rise before dawn every day. Takes a bit of getting used to.
Waiting pays off. There's no hurry.
Today's food. What do they do
This
in
is the
that
garden,
kitchen?
a place for silent
I hope they
contemplation
keep the
and
tastiest
meditation.
morsels for themselves.
Centuries ago,
Us the slops
this monastery
that's
was
left
founded
over.
by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery, and his spirit wanders the corridors at night, punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware. Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work. As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren. And above us monks are the prior and the cicatas, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat. During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of Saint Benedict. The Rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about the circuitous. The library, the pride of our monastery, a trove of learning. We don't just read books here, we also copy them. You too will learn how. And that's all. Today you are still free from duty, but tomorrow you begin work like the others. If you need anything, ask any of the brothers. We'll be glad to help you. And I recommend you get to know the other novices. You already know me. Then there is Siskin, Yodok, and Lucas.
Thanks for showing me around. There's a lot to learn here.
It occurred to me you might be the man to ask. I'm looking for some lockpicks. Do you know anyone in the monastery who could help me?
Lockpicks? You surprise me, brother. And you, a nobleman's son. But you could ask Brother Celerius. They say he used to be a thief.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially, Abbot Peter. And soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
I see. Are there any rifts between the brothers?
Yes. From the moment talk began about electing a new abbot, it's been like a hornet's nest here. Strange you haven't noticed.
Tell me something about electing the abbot.
Abbot Peter is old. When he dies, they'll have to select a new abbot from amongst the brethren. The candidates are John and Nevlas. And if you ask me for my opinion, Nevlas is definitely the right man. Unfortunately, no one cares about my opinion because novices get no say.
Tell me something about life here.
Work, prayer, as if you didn't know. We serve God, and that's the central truth of our lives.
What are the roles of the various monks here?
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden. The abbot supervises everyone, and in his absence, the prior. But it's the circators you should worry about. They're the brothers who'll make sure we observe the rule. They can be quite strict, so if you want to avoid getting punished, always act righteously and do your duties honestly.
Who would you choose as the new abbot if you could?
Why should I even think about that when I don't have the right to vote? Gregor, don't go poking your nose into other people's business. You'll sleep better at night. Be well.
Peace be with you, brother.
I read one of the manuscripts, probably by one of the novices. I think I'm going to cry.
It's that touching, is it?
Touching, more like infuriating. A horrible, abominable waste of parchment. Young people have no respect for writing these days.
But they'll learn. We were no different. Salve. Be well.
You might be wrong. And besides, God will be happy.
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
I'm interested in the other novices. Do you know anything about Antonius?
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is more than can be said for the other brothers.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk. There's nothing in my past, present, or future that anyone could find interesting.
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book.
The words mean nothing to me. Ask in the library.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Well, that's all. Thank you for your time, brother.
Peace be with you.
Service.
Things will get worse. Feel it in my joints.
The things you say.
My joints started aching just before they raised scarlet. And now they hurt again, but worse than last time. Something is going to happen out there.
Abominable waste of part. Young people have no respect for writing. But they'll learn. We were no different.
Salve Domini.
no hurry.
I'll say one thing, brother. This wine would grace the Pope's table.
I'm not so sure. It's a bit...
You've seen us drinking here, so either join in or swear you won't tell a soul. You won't want to end up like Lucas now, would you?
All right. I wouldn't mind some wine.
That's more like it. Sit down and have a drink, my lad. Quite right, brother. Just sit down and drink with us. When the wine runs out, Yorick will fetch more.
What is it, brother?
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Tell me something about life here.
Prayer, work, obedience. That just about sums it up.
Who's in charge of things around here?
Oh, Abbot Peter is the administrator of the monastery, but you won't see him. He's always travelling on. On top of that, he's old and infirm. Perhaps the good Lord will bless him with many more years of life.
And what happens when the old abbot dies?
Well, then we elect a new one.
Can you tell me something about the rule of St. Benedict?
7 centuries ago, St. Benedict of Nursia wrote a collection of monastic rules, which we still follow today. They're read at every meal. The fundamental precepts are obedience, work, and prayer. We're fully devoted to serving God. The outside world, beyond the monastery walls, is foreign to us.
Do you never want to know what's going on out there?
And what should be going on? The sky is just as blue, the grass is just as green. Perhaps the ruler's changed, but the greatest ruler of them all will remain unchanged throughout the ages.
I'm interested in the monastery's history.
Well, it was founded by St. Procopius 500 years ago. After his death, heretics occupied the place for some time.
But then the order was restored and the brothers of the true faith returned.
Heretics, you say?
They wanted to worship God with some foreign rituals, in a language foreign to God. They were driven away, and their books burnt.
What are the roles of the various monks here?
Well, the abbot is the head, but he's not here now. Then there's the prior, the sub-prior, the librarian, the porter, many others. As a novice, you should be particularly mindful of the cicatas. They're the ones who maintain discipline and punish bad behaviour.
What can you tell me about the novices here?
And what can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God and to live a monastic life. After a year, you can make your vows and become a fully fledged brother.
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself. Yorick is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager, perhaps too eager. Siskin is good company, but a bit too worldly for a monk. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one knows much about him. And then we have you, about who I know nothing.
Can you leave the monastery?
Where would you go? You've everything you need here. Anyway, all the doors here are closed and locked tight, so no one can get in or out.
About you in the election, will you tell me more about it?
Ask me anything you want.
I'd like to know what's going on here.
Well, the young brothers feel they don't have the same rights and responsibilities as we, who have spent much of our lives here. And what of it? Privilege needs to be earned. Neverlas is lying when he says he wants to right wrongs. All he cares about are benefits for himself and his cronies.
Tell me something about Nevlas.
Neverlas is weak and toothless. He's full of hot hair. How anyone could think he'd make a good abbot is beyond me. Enough. I don't even want to hear his name again.
I'd like to help you if I can.
There is something you could do. I am convinced Neverlas must have done something that would greatly damage him if everyone found out. If he was preaching water and drinking wine, for example.
So I should dig something up on him and tell you about it?
Exactly. But I doubt you'll have any luck. Neverlas is too cunning and careful to give anything away.
Once I find something out, I'll tell you. Thank you for answering.
What are you doing here?
What does it look like? Drinking?
But we're all monks.
Youngster, when you're as old as I, you'll understand.
Why not? I've had enough opprobria and obedientia for one day.
That's what we like to hear.
You mentioned Yodok. What does he do for you?
Well, nothing much. He's just a little suckling like you. He'll do whatever it takes to stay on our good side. Sometimes we make use of him when there are errands to run.
Where'd you get the wine from? I thought the monastery cellars were guarded.
So they are. But this wine isn't from the monastery. Listen, lad, would you help us out with something? This cask is almost empty and we need a new one. We're a bit old for such exertions, but you, on the other hand...
I'll help you. What do I need to do?
Ha! I knew it! Help Novice Yorick arrange for a new cask. Talk to him first thing in the morning, and by tomorrow night, the cask can be on the table.
All right, I'll talk to him. Let's drink.
That's the idea. And what should we drink to?
How about to the abbot?
To the abbot it is. But wait a minute, lad. Which one?
To Abbot John.
That's more like it.
I'll be going, brothers. It's been good to sit with you a while.
Do us a favour, brother. Stay a little longer and have another drink with us. Here, some wine for you.
Oh, all right, but that's the last cup. Let's drink.
That's the idea. And what should we drink to?
How about to the abbot?
To the abbot it is. But wait a minute, lad. Which one?
To Peter.
So, to Peter. He's done so much for us, but his time is at hand. To his immortal soul.
I'll be going, brothers. It's been good to sit with you a while.
Do us a favour, brother. Stay a little longer and have another drink with us. Here, some wine for you.
Thanks, but I won't have any more. I need my sleep.
As you wish, brother, as you wish. We'll be heading off soon ourselves. What's there left to drink to?
To our fresh young novices, our swift steeds, and our boundless cellars.
You and your novices, you old pervert. A toast to our future abbot.
It looks like I found a little monastic treasure trove. I wonder who stashed that here.
mission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle
Praise
words,
be to
or
our
words
Lord
that move
Jesus.
to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. The
What
rule
is
of
it,
Saint
brother?
Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for
I was
eating
talking
are
last night with the
as
brother
follows.
Cicators.
From Easter
It seems you're to fetch them a cask of wine.
when they come out
like
from
last
fire in
time.
the morning, let them
Hey,
labor
well,
as ever is necessary until about
yes,
the 4th hour.
it's true.
From the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table,
I'd like to help you.
rest on their beds in perfect silence.
Would you really do it?
Anyone may perhaps
To get hold of the wine,
let him
we'll
read
have to leave
himself
the
in
monastery
such a
for a
way
bit.
as not to
I know it's forbidden,
anyone else.
but we've no other option.
None e'er be said
If
to
wine
pass
started going
early
missing here,
at the
someone would
8th
notice.
hour,
But to leave the monastery, we need the
what work had
keys,
to be done
and
until
only the
6th.
prior has those.
Weak or
Wait a
sickly
moment.
brethren
Are you saying I'm
should
supposed to
sign
steal the
task
prior's
or craft
keys
of such
so I
a
can go and
nature
steal
as to
wine
keep
somewhere else?
idleness and at the
You see
same
why I don't
time
want to do it
avoid
myself now,
them
do you?
or drive them away
I don't have what it
from the
takes.
Their
I can't get those
weakness
keys,
taken
but
into
you could.
consideration by the abbot.
Oh, or you might be able to pick the locks.
But you've done it once before, haven't you?
Last time the prior was sick, and he left the monastery keys in the Circator's care. So they unlocked the gates for me. This time we'll have to steal the keys.
How can I get hold of the keys, do you think?
I don't know, but it might be possible to do this without them. Brother Celerius, the cellar keeper, used to be a burglar. He knows his way around locks, and maybe could help us, if you could find a way to arrange it.
Do you think he'll want to take part in theft?
No, but he could give some advice, or maybe get some lockpicks to open the gate. You'll figure something out.
If you think so, I can try.
Once you have the key or some lockpicks, come and see me and we'll make our plan.
About those keys.
Did you get them? Keys? Or at least lockpicks?
Yes, I have them.
In that case, come before midnight to the cloister garden. I'll be waiting for you there, and we'll head off.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor.
I'm Gregor,
Idleness
a
is
novice.
the enemy of the soul.
I saw you at the ceremony.
Therefore, the
I
brethren
know.
should
It was
occupy
hard not to notice you.
manual
And
labor,
you are?
and again at fixed hours in
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
from Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence. Or
Will you
if
tell me
anyone
something
may
about
perhaps
yourself?
want to read,
Guy,
let him read for
there's
himself
nothing I can tell you.
not to disturb
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness.
Come
at
on.
the same time
Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
or drive
I
them away.
could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath. Never forget that.
With my tongue, I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silent.
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
Here the
I don't know much, but ask away.
sought to lead us at times to refrain
Do you know anything about Yodok?
I don't. He doesn't like me, and he's on very friendly terms with the Circators. That's about it.
Tell me about Antonius.
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never spoken to him. I've never asked about him.
And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For
You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
Inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not...
In the night, I overheard the cicadas in the cellar. They were talking about you.
Oh, no. So it's still not over. This isn't a life in service of God. This is purgatory.
Lucas, what's going on?
What do you think? Just like you, I saw the Circatus drinking and playing hazard as if they were in a brothel.
And the fear of hell and the glory of life everlasting. As soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to
You should have joined them.
Join them in their sinful pursuits. Yes, perhaps I should have. But I refuse to do it.
I warned them if they didn't stop, I'd go and tell the prior. But instead of mending their ways, they vented their anger on me.
You've picked the wrong people to make enemies of, Lucas, they told me. Now I can't even count how many days and nights I've spent locked up in solitary confinement for the tiniest offences, or for no offence at all.
And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on humility.
Is there something I can do to help?
Would you? I think all it might take is for you to go and sit down with them, have a talk, set things straight, then they'd leave me alone. But I'm afraid even this path leads nowhere. They'd probably start hounding you as well.
Receive it as a divine command and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded.
I'm not afraid of them.
Without hesitation.
Brother, you have the courage I lack. May the grace of God be upon you.
For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on the spirit of silence.
I found a book, coin and a dagger under a floor slab. Any idea whose they might be?
No idea at all. If I were you, I'd hand them to the prior.
Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain even from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words.
My name's Gregor, a novice.
You can call me Siskin. Are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although it's not important. Welcome to purgatory.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough. Soon enough.
And in another place, death and life are in the power of the...
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer not to talk about my past.
Be silent to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility.
Are you hiding something? Why are you so reluctant to tell me anything about yourself?
I'm hiding a lousy past that I'd rather forget. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, the lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine?
expounding the Lord's
Me
commandments
in a
and words
monastery.
to the intelligent among
So I
his
took what coin I
disciples,
could from home with me,
demonstrating
so I didn't
divine
lose out
precepts
completely.
by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders.
But you didn't have to come here if you didn't want to.
No, not if I didn't mind being left to beg alms by the city gate. I had one choice, the monastery or nothing.
Remembering the fate of Heli,
if it had come to that after my
the
father's death,
well-disposed
so
and
be
those
it.
of good
But to
understanding
get rid of
should
me
correct
while
with
he's
verbal
still alive.
admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes.
What's your plan with this
bodily
treasure?
punishments.
To get out of
Knowing
here
that
as
this is
soon as I
written,
can.
the fool is
I'll
not
wait another
corrected
year or
with
two
words.
until my hot-headed brothers
again,
cool off a bit,
Beat your
and then I'll
son
take
with
the
the rod,
silver
and you
and
will
run
deliver
off
his
somewhere,
soul from
far,
death.
far away from here.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should
They
show
must
them
have
all that
realized
is
you
good
robbed them.
and holy. By his deeds,
I
even
donated
more
some of the
by
silver
his
to the
word.
monastery when I came in,
Expounding
just to
the
piss
Lord's
them off.
commandments and words
I can
to the
just see my
intelligent
brothers,
among
I
his
mean my
disciples,
siblings, arguing with the
demonstrating
abbot
the
to give
divine
it back.
precepts by his
And you
actions
stashed
for
away the
those of
remainder?
harder hearts and
Indeed
ruder
so.
minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no
Tell me more about the
distinction
book.
of persons in the monastery.
I found it here in
Not
the
love
library.
one more than
It was
another,
on a shelf where it
unless
should
be
never
one
have been.
whom he finds better
So
in
I
good
hid it to
works
read later.
or in obedience.
It's the
And let
Necronomicon.
him not shut his eyes
Ghosts,
to the faults of
demons, and
offenders,
invocations of
but,
powers beyond
since
our
he has the
world.
authority, let him cut out
Only it's
those
written in a
faults
strange
by the
language
roots
that I
as
can't really
soon
make
as
sense
they
of.
begin to
All
appear.
bara this and bara that.
Remembering
Who
the
knows
fate
what it
of Heli,
means?
the priest
I tried to
Simon,
count the syllables,
well-disposed
read the
to
words
those who
backwards,
could
but
understand.
nothing.
Let him correct with
I'm not
verbal
getting anywhere with
admonition
it.
the first and
Oh.
second time.
I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like
Proud and
that.
disobedient
Actually, what
characters
anyone would say.
curb at the
It sounds
very
quite
beginning of their ill-doing by
prohibited.
stripes and
Ah,
other bodily
prejudice.
punishments. Knowing
But
that
you're
this
right,
is written,
it is
the
prohibited.
fool is not corrected
For no
with
good
words.
reason, though.
And again,
Has knowledge ever done
beat
anybody
your
any
son
harm?
with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on humility.
You're right.
First degree of humility
Knowledge should never be prohibited.
without delay.
Oh, I'm glad you agree.
This is the virtue of those who hold
Just take a look at the book. Maybe you'll be able to make some sense of it. I haven't grasped a single syllable. Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid it, I'll be in a lot of trouble. Our brothers' minds are closed to a thirst for knowledge.
Obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience
What kind of a
given
book is
to
it?
superiors is given to God.
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Only it's written in a strange language that I can't really make sense of. All bara this and bara that. Who knows what it means? I tried to count the syllables, read the words backwards, but nothing. I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Oh. I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say. It sounds quite prohibited.
Ah, prejudice. But you're right, it is prohibited. For no good reason, though. Has knowledge ever done anybody any harm?
Divine command and cannot suffer any delay in execution.
You're right. Knowledge should never be prohibited.
Oh, I'm glad you agree. Just take a look at the book. Maybe you'll be able to make some sense of it. I haven't grasped a single syllable. Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid it, I'll be in a lot of trouble. Our brothers' minds are closed to a thirst for knowledge.
Simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring, and far from gaining a reward for such
I'll leave you
work
be.
as this, he
Don't
will
worry,
incur the
I won't follow you again.
Thank you. And please, Gregor, don't mention it to anyone.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calendar...
I'd be interested to hear what you think about the other novices. Tell me about Antonius.
Well, if there was a monk I'd recommend as a friend, with of course the exception of myself, it would be Antonius. He has a calm soul, he's easy to talk to, and you can always rely on him.
I'm interested in Yodok.
What could interest you about him? He's a no-good rat. He'll turn you in for the price of a turnip. I'd bet my life that if he wasn't here, he'd be a cumin scout, bowing and scraping for a few groschen.
That doesn't sound too flattering.
It wasn't meant to. No matter what you do here, watch out for him. He's got his eye on everyone, and he'll rat on you for even the slightest of infractions.
What can you tell me about Lucas?
It's a tricky situation with Lucas. No one really knows anything about him. I've tried so many times to talk to him, but he always backs away like a virgin on a wedding night.
With a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and
That's all.
holy,
Thanks.
by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent...
In the middle of the night, I saw the brother Circatus drinking and playing dice.
How marvellous! Did you join in? And more importantly, can I join in next time?
Siskin? I thought it wasn't allowed.
If the Circatus can, we all can.
That's not how it works, though, is it?
From him,
I know.
more is required.
A double standard. The elder brothers can do as they please, but they're the ones preaching about morality to us.
Unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults.
Who would you elect, Abbot, if you could?
Most likely Nevlas. He's a fine fellow and he seems honest. But, truth be told, it doesn't matter much to me. The monastery will still be a monastery, no matter who's in charge. If you really want to talk more about it, ask Antonius. He seems to have taken an interest.
He should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments. Knowing that
I'd like to ask you something about the
fool
monastery.
is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and
Gregor,
holy, by his
talk to me.
deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's...
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be exactly?
Except by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lockpicks? And what would you like those for?
Distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works.
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Well, why not? So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. But I do have a few lockpicks left. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you can have your lockpicks. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
prophet says.
Can we do something about the price?
I will guard my ways.
All right, so?
Sin with my tongue, I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silent.
See now, I knew we'd come to an agreement.
It shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain even from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it is for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, in much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciples' part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior,
Praise
it
be
should
to our Lord
asked
Jesus.
with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a
Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and only he and the prior are permitted to read them.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book. Do you know what it is?
It appears to be a page torn out of Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who? Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages. I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place in the library.
Good. I'll look around for it.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most grateful.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The pages of the book could be hidden anywhere, from the garden to the refectory.
Can you tell me something about the book?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much about it, but as I was saying, he considered the book to be immoral and tore it up to stop it corrupting any of his brothers.
I found a few pages of the torn-up book, but I still don't have them all.
Wonderful. Keep looking then. I'm sure you can find the rest.
Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
Come now, brother. Aren't we friends? You know very well that monks can't survive on prayer alone. Forgive me this once.
Fine then. This time I will forgive you, but next time you'll be punished just like everyone else.
I'm Gregor and I'm new here.
I know. I saw you in the church during ceremony. I have the feeling we'll be meeting again soon, and often. You see, I'm the circator.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes the rule, does their work, and that everything's the way it should be.
When it's not the way it should be?
Then we're authorized to mete out punishment. But certainly you won't require correction, will you, brother?
Brother Circator, my friend.
What would you like? To be relieved from duties?
No, I'm here because of Novice Lucas. I've heard there's some discord with him.
Only because that weasel wants to put an end to our nighttime fun. So we're letting him know who's in charge here.
I'd appreciate it if you treat him like a brother again.
If he isn't afraid of us, there's nothing to stop him ratting us out. But what do you care, anyway? Grown fond of him, have you?
He hates you because you trample all over him and he has nothing to lose. If you show him just a bit of kindness, he'll think again about taking you on. You'll see.
Fine. You've convinced me. You can tell him things have been straightened out. But he'd better be on his best behavior from now on. Beware of Lucas. He might corrupt you.
What do you mean?
He's a sodomite, a sinner. He might try to get you into the habit, or out of it.
I didn't know that. Thanks for the warning.
Peace be with you, brother.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Neblis, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property, as well as handling trade with the outside world.
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all. I just write lists and send them out.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm the provost of this monastery. It's my job to ensure the monks live a humble life and that any surpluses go to the poor. But in reality, I spend all my time making sure my brother's gluttony and the construction of a new church don't swallow up the few resources we have left.
Is there anything I could help with?
You know, there is. Perhaps you've heard that Abbot Peter is gravely ill. I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the abbot's ailment. With your help, I could find out the details, and together you and I could give old Peter a few more years to do good. What do you say?
What do you need me for?
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken. Now, you know, most of the brothers believe every illness is a message from God, and that it's not our place to deny his will. I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the medicine to cure them, then it's our duty to relieve people of their suffering. The cure for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library, but it will certainly be amongst the libri prohibiti, the forbidden books, those we aren't permitted to read.
Why are they forbidden?
Because they contain occult and demonic practices, witchcraft and all manner of evil. Or so some people claim. It's nonsense, of course. This is nothing but a book of medicine, albeit one written by a pagan. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna, is universally acknowledged to be a wise man. But here, at some point, someone decided his book is the work of a Saracen devil and must be kept under lock and key. Since then, no one can even talk about the book. But the 3 wise men were from the East, were they not?
Where can I find it?
In the library, there's a large cabinet with a lock on it. The forbidden books are inside. You'll easily recognize what you're looking for. The cover has not only a Latin inscription, but also Saracen letters. Bring it to me, but leave the other books there. No one will notice if one book disappears, but if more were to vanish, someone would certainly begin to look into it, which is exactly what we don't want.
Is there anything you can tell me that would help?
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian should have another one, or you can acquire some lockpicks. But I can't tell you where or how. Perhaps Brother Salarius could help.
I'm ready.
One more important thing. There's always someone in the library during the day. To pass unwatched, you'll need to go at night. It's locked, but I'm sure you'll manage to get in. They say Brother Salarius understands locks, but don't tell him why you need it. Once you have the book, bring it to me, and I'll then use it to make Peter's medicine. We'll soon have the election of the abbot over and done with.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today's task, 2 cockerel potions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them.
I've read one of the manuscripts copied by one of the novices. I think I'm going to cry. It's that touching. Touching? More like infuriating. A horrible, abominable waste of parchment. Young people have no respect for writing these days.
But they'll learn. We were no different.
What troubles you?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices. What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
Is there any way I could help you get elected? Somehow tip the scales in your favour?
What would you like to do? Climb up the tower and shout, "Vote for Nevillus, vote for Nevillus"?
Not exactly. You do have an opponent, John.
John isn't my opponent, he's my brother. Just like you and everyone else here. We're all brothers in Christ. But there is something you could help me with. You must know there's a great deal of iniquity here in the monastery. I'd be interested to hear of anything I don't know about.
Salve Domine.
Should I find out for you what's going on around here?
Let me make this clear. I want to base my candidacy on putting things in order. But if I don't know exactly what's wrong, then my promises are just empty slogans.
Very good then. I'll find out what I can.
Thank you, brother.
What do you want me to find out?
I'd be interested to hear about any iniquity in the monastery. I need to prepare myself for what I'll be facing.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first time you've ever done this in your life. But it's easier than you think. Just a bit of practice and learning Latin. Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll copy what you read in the original. Is that clear? Then you may begin, and try not to make a mess of it. You call that a copy? You've completely ruined the parchment with your scribbling. What troubles you?
I found a few pages of the torn-up book, but I still don't have them all.
Wonderful. Keep looking, then. I'm sure you can find the rest.
Peace be with you, brother.
Sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain even from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since the spirit of silence...
I spoke to the cicadas about how they've been treating you.
Really? Did you manage to convince them to leave me alone?
But you have to promise not to tell anyone what you saw them doing. Then they'll leave you alone.
That's a promise I'd be glad to make. I'm forever in your debt, brother. Because now I know I can trust you, there's something I want to tell you. It's about Brother Antonius. I wouldn't like to say something that isn't true. God forbid I should cause harm by my words, but this is something I'm sure of. Novice Antonius is lying to us.
What makes you say that?
He claims he's a merchant's son from Vlashim, and that he joined the order voluntarily. The thing is, I spent a great deal of time in Vlashim. I know it like the back of my hand, and no one even remotely like Antonius has ever lived there.
Are you sure? Because this could mean that...
It's true, or Canute isn't my name. That would be my secular name, by the way, but that's not important. I know Vlashim, and I know the local merchants there, and I've never seen Antonius among them. Why would he be lying if he had nothing to hide?
Thank you for telling me. I'll look into it.
The Rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the Abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of Abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. The abbot should always remember. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of Siloam. The well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments. Knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The Rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell, and the glory of life.
Talk to me, brother.
As soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay.
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be, exactly?
Only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay.
I need to get some wine.
You're not the only one. But I have to keep records of all the casks, and the prior checks on them. He'd notice any loss straight away. Just like our food, everything's rationed. So I'm sorry, but I'll have to disappoint you, brother.
Then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring, and far from gaining a reward for such work...
Oh, nothing really, come to think of it.
The punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The Rule of Saint Benedict.
You have some interesting skills for a monk. Don't suppose you want to tell me how you pick them up?
What's there to tell? We were all young and foolish once. I was a student in Prague, completely broke, living from hand to mouth and studying all day. It wasn't an easy life.
So you turned to stealing?
I set about securing a livelihood as best I could. A goose, some new shoes, a bit of coin to spend with my friends. Without that little bit extra, I'd never have completed my studies. I would have turned into a beggar. And who else do you know that can say he's serving God thanks to having been a thief?
No one, brother. Thank you for telling me your story.
And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciples' part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth.
God be with you.
Salve. Be well.
Salve Domine.
Abbot Peter's health
Salve.
is deteriorating.
Be well.
They say he won't make it to the autumn.
God be with you.
I wish all good health upon him, but I want change, and only a new abbot can bring that.
Waiting pays off.
Peace be with
There's
you.
no
brother.
hurry.
Servus.
Today's food. What are they doing? Bet they keep the tastiest morsels for themselves and give us the slop that's left over. Downhill.
You'll see. Things will get better with the new abbot.
Let's hope things will settle down a bit around here now. You mean after the Tarnberg attack on the brigand's secret camp? I wouldn't expect too much of it. No. Why's that? There was only a handful of bandits there. A handful? There was dozens of them. And foreign heathens, too. Is that right? There was a great, big battle. Them fuckers filled the whole of Pribyslavitz. The Tarnberg garrison had to get reinforcements to beat them. There's wounded lying at Tarnberg now, and plenty new graves in Ujits, but they cleared that wasp's nest good and proper. If you say so. We haven't seen the last of it. That Sigismund is still on the rampage, attacking the nobles one by one across the land. And brigands are like weeds. Burn them down, and they just sprout up somewhere. Not the half of it. What about the attack on Nurhaye? Well, the lords are dealing with one...
Someone's been creeping about in the corridor at night. What am I saying? Creeping? Stomping about like a bear.
Before they raised Skalitz.
That must have been Brother
And now they hurt again.
These novices. I'd pull those idlers by the ears.
Something is going
What
to
have they
happen
done
out
to you
there.
this time, brother?
They're shirking their responsibilities, leaving us, their superiors.
He was stomping about like a bear.
That must have been Brother Circator. He can't sleep and prays long into the night.
Definitely gone downhill. I remember back when we ate like kings.
And the wine. Those were the days.
You'll see. Things will get better with the new abbot.
God be with you.
I've read one of the manuscripts copied by one of the novices. I think I'm going to cry. Touching. More like infuriating. A horrible, abominable waste of parchment. Young people have no respect for writing.
I've read one of the manuscripts copied by
But they'll learn. We were
I think
no
I'm going to
different.
cry.
It's that touching, is it?
Touching?
Praise be
More
to
like
our Lord
infuriating. A horrible, abominable waste of parchment. Young people have no respect for writing these days.
But they'll learn. We
Peace
were
be
no
with you,
different.
brother.
Peace be with you. Well.
Someone really reaped the fattens.
You're right. It stunk like a wine barrel.
Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who would you vote for as the new abbot if you could?
Why do you care? We don't have the right to vote, so we shouldn't get mixed up in it.
I'm just interested, that's all.
I like John better. But like I've said, it's not our place to get involved. It's enough that Antonius is mixed up in it. Don't you start too.
Be well.
Cerebus.
Things will get worse. I feel it in my joints.
Things you say.
My joints started aching just before they raised Scarlet.